This is Andy McNamara from WCZR Code Zero Radio. Got the honor to be joined by Roy Elkins here. He's the president of the WAMIs, and his whole life he's worked in the music industry. Of course, involved in Joey's song. How many Joey songs have you been to?
I think this has got to be the 7th or 8th one that I've worked with Mike on. Maybe one more than that. About 7 or 8.
It's amazing to see how it's grown.
Oh yeah, it started at a club in Chicago and then moved up here, and then it was at the Barrymore when I joined him at the Barrymore, and that was probably 4 or 5 years ago, I guess, maybe even longer than that. I just don't know.
But do you like seeing the progression of it growing, the growing pains that come along with it?
It's great. And plus, it brings so much to the community. And not only is it a good cause, to raise this amount of money, it's a staggering amount of money to raise in one night, but not only is that a good cause, but what it does for the community to bring all these celebs in and have them play together. Some have never played before, and I think we have 75 musicians coming together on 18 songs tomorrow night. So it's amazing. It's a coordination challenge.
And for those that might not be familiar with Joey's song, they're an organization that raises money for epilepsy research, and hopefully one day we'll be able to eliminate epilepsy completely. That's the hope.
And that's the goal, and that's why Mike does this. Mike Gomoll, the founder, lost his son to epilepsy, and when he was 5 years old, and his name was Joey Gomoll, and that's how Joey's song got named. So,
and you've been involved in the music industry your whole life.
I started out in music retail in Memphis, and in a music store, and then I got a job offer from Ensoniq Corporation right when they were starting, which was the maker of keyboards and samplers and synths, and I moved to Philly. Was with them till the mid-'90s, and then I came out here to take the Sonic Foundry job and help Sonic Foundry get off the ground, and we had a great run, and my wife and I just fell in love with Wisconsin, and we said we're never moving, and so I had to start my own company to be in the music business here. So,
were you ever in any bands?
When I was younger, I played in several bands. I grew up in Michigan, and I played in several bands in
keyboard or
keyboard, yeah, primarily. And I do play a little guitar, but not very well. And one of the bands is called Dillinger, another one Teaser, and we played, Southern Michigan, Detroit area.
Has Mike tried to get you up on the stage for Joey's song yet?
I don't think he hasn't asked me yet, but maybe there might be a reason for that. I don't know.
Last year, you were announced as the new president of the Wisconsin Area Music Industry Awards. How's that?
And I'm also president of the Madison Area Music Association, that charity. I've been involved with that for 20 years. And then a friend of mine was running the WAMI, and we got involved with him to handle the vote a couple years prior. And then when it was his turn to pass the torch, he asked me if I would take it on. And I it was an honor. And I'm honored to be part of it, and I hope we can really expand the WAMIs, especially to the northwestern part of the state. And that's what I really want to work on in the next year specifically, is just to get more involvement from folks up there, but do different kinds of things too. The WAMIs has always been known as an award show, and I'd like to have a real strong charitable component to it, similar to what Joey's song does for epilepsy. Buy instruments for kids, help kids with scholarships, and we did get a scholarship program going last year. And then, maybe if there's a musician in need, that we need to help them out. They're hospitalized, or, we can't pay hospital bills, but you can send them a small check to show that somebody cares, and so those are the things I'd like to see over the next few years. And it's such a great organization. The volunteers are incredible, like the Mamas volunteers here in Madison. They're incredibly passionate, and they just want to see independent musicians thrive.
Any other changes that you've been looking at as far as maybe categories or locations?
When we took over the vote, and we handle votes for a lot of organizations around the country, Broadjam does, and when we took over the votes, I had a few hundred people participating, maybe 1,000, I'm not sure. And this second year, we had 4,800 people register.
Wow.
For the WAMI, and we had over 130,000 votes. So it was quite it's been a real rapid growth. We're still trying to balance out some of the categories. Like we get a lot of rock songs submitted, but we don't get any polka. So Wisconsin is the polka capital of the United States. We had to have some polka artists in there. So there are categories we have to do a better job at attracting people.
Could you describe how voting works for people that might not be familiar with that?
And you can go to WAMI.org, and there's a voting mechanism there. Or if you're in the Madison area, MAMA.org. Anybody who enters the MAMAs is automatically in the WAMIs now, because Broadjam handles both of those votes, so we just put you in, so you don't have to do it twice. So you go and you can register as a performer. You can register as a songwriter, or if you have a song that you want to put up, or an album, or a video, or an instrumentalist as well. So if you're a guitar player or sax player, whatever you play, you can register. And then what happens is we get all those registrations. And last year, like I said, for the WAMIs, we had 4,800. I expect it to be about 6,000 this year. And once those registrations are in, we have a first round of voting. And that's when all the fans and all the people who've registered can come in and vote for their favorites. And then once we narrow it down to the top 5 in some categories, top 10 in others, depending on how many entries we have in that category, then we put the vote out again, and then we crown the winner. This year it'll be May 4th at the Deco in West Allis.
Oh, it's a location.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful building that was, I think they said it was like a J.C. Penney office or something, but it was built in like the 1920s, and it's just got this amazing, Art Deco feel to it, and we're going to have kind of some fun with it, ask you to dress in that time frame, and we're just going to kind of have a little fun with it and make it a special event.
People that haven't attended the ceremony, that's really a fun time too, to get together with local musicians you haven't met and meet people.
Yeah, and it is. It's not just an awards ceremony. There's a lot of great music there. There's probably going to be 10 or 15 acts this year that'll play, and all the best in Wisconsin. And then everybody in the audience is a musician, or attached to a musician, or a fan of a musician, and it's truly a collection of people who just love independent music and want to support it. Me being one of them,
Do you ever get music overload?
I've said all along that I have the second best job in the world. The best job is being on stage in front of 50,000 people every night, or composing music for a living, or something like that. And I've been able to be around that. I worked with many of my heroes growing up as a kid, and just to be able to hang out with Butch and Duke and all these guys, and in so many different venues, not just them, but others in so many venues around the world. And it's just been, I'm thankful every day. And years ago, I had a chance to go to Abbey Road and spend a little time there, probably 1986, I guess, or 85. And I called my wife on the way home, and I just said, if my plane goes down, just say I'm okay, because I was just in heaven, so I'm already, I'm okay with it, because there's never been a day I've regretted my career. Certainly I've made mistakes, and I wish I'd have done this and that, but I'm not digging ditches for a living, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm doing what I love to do. I'm around something I really love.
Roy Elkins, thank you for your time, and thank you for all the support with Joey's song. And
I'm honored to be part of this. I'm just thrilled that Mike asked me.